wait. This one you are referring to?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Correct. What is the question?
Sir, I cannot interpret
Can you
about IFS and
just
XYZ.
one second. Let me perhaps my audio needs to be adjusted. Please say it again.
Sir, you said that in the accounts which has debited, right? Yes, if it could be credited or vice versa. In IFS and XYZ case, I could not understand if it amount is debited or not. And in XYZ, it is credited,
Okay,
it
okay,
will be
okay,
credited or not.
okay, okay. Can anybody clarify her doubt? Can any one of you present in the class right now clarify the doubt she has raised? Okay. Let me first explain to you this in an ordinary language, usual language, and then in accounting language. In an ordinary language, who are these people? Who is IFS? It is a
Personal
business.
account.
It is a okay, okay. I mean, let me talk about uh, just one second. Let me talk about ordinary language. So XYZ is a personal. Okay, they are people whom we are dealing with, whom our company, from whom our company can buy goods to them, our company can sell goods to them, our company can borrow from them, they can borrow from our company, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Once all these transactions are possible, there are two possibilities, rather three possibilities. First possibility, that they bought goods from us and they will pay us in future. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Second possibility, we borrowed money from them or we bought goods from them and we shall pay them at a later date.
Yes, sir.
Third possibility, we borrowed money from them or bought goods from them on credit and we paid. So in third
Yes.
possibility, there will be no balance. In first or second possibility, there will be a balance. The balance can be debit or credit depending on the transactions we had with them. If you purchased goods from them on credit and did not pay till the finalization of account, then what will those people be for you in terms of asset, capital, liability, and expense?
Mm, as liability.
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 Liability. So that means liability has increased. Therefore, it is our liability. Increase in liability is debited or credited?
Credited.
Credited. That means if they have credit balance, it is our liability. If they have debit balance, then by the same logic, it is our asset.
Asset.
Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
This in
Thank
this
you, sir.
case, in such a situation, if there is any question that any one of you have, instead of holding it for the next day, because we have now limited days to go. Today is what is third, so you have another 10 more days to go. Could be before your examinations start. So instead of holding it on to you, just post this on group. If you post it in the group, there's a possibility that one of your batchmate can answer it correctly. And if it is answered correctly, because I'll keep a track on that, if it is answered correctly, I'll not react, or maybe I can say it is true. But if it is answered somehow not so correct, then I can interfere. So better to use this group, I mean, as much as possible for exchanging your thoughts on the subject, for discussing the questions and answers. Otherwise, why? What is the purpose of creating this group? It is not only communication for announcement that I can do, and I have done through Google Classroom also. Okay. Any other question? Any other question on what we discussed yesterday? What we discussed yesterday. You have started writing. Good. You can write your names once again. Sorry, your roll numbers. Those of you who have not written your roll numbers, write your roll numbers. And if there are questions on the slides that we discussed yesterday, you ask a question. If not, I'll take up the issue from that slide onward. And in case of joining a class, I keep on seeing the messages. In case your message is not answered for some time, just you can call me. The idea is that you should be in. I'm not sure what is the problem, because the setting I have changed is admit everybody. So at times there are people in the queue, I don't know why, and at times people automatically get admitted. Just check if somebody can help me out. I'll change the setting once again. Okay, we start with the we start with the place
Sir,
where. Yes.
sir, yesterday you asked us how companies like bank verified that they have 30 billion rupees
Okay,
or not.
good. Yes. For that, I have already discussed in one of the classes, including the revision classes and also in the main classes. If you can recall it, nothing like it. If you cannot, I will answer you. Can anybody recall, or shall I answer? Let me answer. We discussed a lot about a word called trust. Importance of trust in accounting. Every stakeholder who uses accounting information takes decision on the basis of accounting data. Data is available in the form of figures, either digitally or on a piece of paper. You look at the balance sheet of a company, you see good quality of asset, you see huge profitability, you see good financial health, and you decide that you will invest. Has ever any investor verified the information physically? For example, a company reported a profit of 1000 crore. Will any stakeholder verify that it is correct or not? A company's balance sheet states it has assets, let us say building, furniture, cash, investment, worth 1 million rupees, worth 10 billion, worth 1 trillion. Will anybody verify? Similarly,
No, sir.
what happens in case of a bank? It is a trust, and of course, there is an established procedure. That procedure is known as a random checking. You have a room full of notes. You have a lot of notes available there with packets and all. Randomly, one packet from here, one packet from there can be counted. 1, 2, 3. There are perhaps, I'm not so sure, but there could be some rules also. At least how many packets need to be counted before we arrive at a conclusion. Okay, so many packets randomly were counted and all of them were found correct. So in this way, it can be extrapolated. But more importantly, my idea of asking you that question was about the trust. And who is responsible for that trust? You and me will be responsible. Suppose you are responsible for compilation of the accounting record or checking the accounting records, and you know that these have been faithfully prepared. Only then you will sign. And in case you know that these have not been faithfully signed, the company has cooked up the information, it has recorded wrong entries, it has recorded something which is not backed by any documentary evidence or backed by any physical presence. So what would you do? Would you sign or would you refuse?
Refuse.
Refuse.
Refuse. How many of you will refuse? Is there anyone who would sign? What has happened in case of 100%, I'm using the word 100% scams, that the people at large were responsible. They knew that this much of cash is not there, and still they certified. Accountant certified, chief accountant certified, board, of course, board will not go to count, board members will not go to count. But as I said earlier also, figures speak. Looking at the figures, one can make out, if he is intelligent, knows the subject, that the figures are telling a lie. interrelationship, and there are several things which convey the meaning. So people can, as they go along, as they reach the higher stage, higher designations, and have maturity and etc. etc. Then certainly they come to know there is something wrong about it, and if they still sign, so they are in a way not, I mean, using the trust, or they should be held responsible. And there are cases, I think, let us, we'll may perhaps discuss it sometimes later. Come back to the discussion we had. Did I complete this slide explained to you, or this was explained to you?
Yes, sir.
I ask you to think of some logic. If you have some questions, I can clarify. If not, I'll start from here. If both sides of the trial balance are equal, we can say we made no mistake. We made no, I say we made no error. And when I say error, I strictly mean no mathematical error. There is a possibility of some errors in our books of accounts despite these two sides being equal. In the next slide, I'll discuss what are those errors which still may, I'm not saying 100% may not be there in our books of accounts, in spite of the fact that both sides are equal. So these are the errors. Implications of both sides equal. These are the possible errors which may exist in our books of account, even if both sides are equal. These are fairly simple to follow. Omission or repetition. See, if you omit a transaction, मतलब आप भूल गए किसी चीज को लिखना. You think of any transaction, you forgot to record that transaction. So when you forget to record a transaction, will it affect your trial balance? No, sir. Because
Yes, sir.
because neither will debit be recorded nor any figure will be recorded in a credit. When a figure is missed on both sides, this total will always be equal, isn't it? Okay. You have repeated a transaction. You have recorded a transaction twice by mistake, by error. A transaction has been recorded twice. Because equal debit, equal credit will be posted, trial balance will give you equal total of both sides. Error of commission. You make some calculation mistake in percentage term. You wanted to give 10% commission, but you have calculated 5%. Or you wanted to calculate 5%, but by mistake you have calculated 7%. I mean, 100 rupees sales was made, 2% discount was to be given, and 2% you have calculated as rupees 3. Because 3 will be posted on both sides, there will be no problem. See, you received money from A and recorded in the account of B. So equal debit credit will be posted, there will be no problem. Error of principle. You violated any of the rules 12, 15 accounting conventions. Any of those, one of these has been violated, of course, innocently, not deliberately. If it is deliberate, it is not an error. What would you call that? That is known as
Fraud.
fraud. Correct. So fraud is innocent. Fraud is deliberately caused, and errors are innocently caused. So if you by mistake if you by mistake violate any of the accounting conventions, both sides will be equal. Can any one of you give me an example of error of principle?
If instead of asset we write it in liability account,
Tell me
we
the
consider it as liability.
no, just try and tell me a transaction. Okay, this is what we should have done, and this is what we did. Only then we will come to know about an error. Okay, let me give you one, and then you try another one. For example, can you recall, say, conservatism concept? Can you recall, if you recall conservatism concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What it is?
Expected gains to be
Expected
should not
loss.
be recorded.
Expected loss is to be, I think,
Recorded
considered
and
and
expected gains should be
Expected
ignored.
losses should be,
recorded.
Recorded,
Recorded and accepted.
and expected gain should be.
ignored.
Should not be, sir.
Okay, this is the convention. Tell me an example wherein, while recording, this concept or this principle has been violated. Tell me as an example.
If anybody takes a loan from us and it is a possibility that he will not return it in future.
Okay, correct. And it does not
We
become a
don't record.
transaction. The transaction would be that we are 90% sure that so and so will not pay. And we are, let us say, the amount borrowed was 1,000 rupees, and we are sure that he will not pay, and we have not made any record in our books of account. We have not shown this fact or this information in our books of account. If we ignore the fact that so and so who owed us 1,000 rupees will not pay us, we are 100% sure, but still we are not putting it on record. We are not bringing it in our profit loss account and balance sheet. Then this is a violation of accounting convention. Which one? Conservatism. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Alternatively, we know that out of 1,000 rupees, we at best can get 500. We at best can get, this is our conservative estimate. It is not a reality. After all, it is expected only. So we expect that 500 we can receive, and 500 perhaps will no more be receivable. But instead of showing 500 rupees expected loss, we are showing expected loss of 900. So what are you doing? You are again violating a principle by overstating it. There can be, not one, so many examples that can be given, but think over it. Suppose,
Recording for more than 12 months. Like,
okay, good. Recording the figures of 13 months instead of 12. Okay. Can you give me an example?
so the firm is, sir, it started like, sir, on the like
1st January, and
Yes,
you are doing in the next year 11th, somewhere in February or March. You are violating which concept, which convention?
so the matching concept.
No,
The periodicity concept. Sir.
period. And see, okay, which one. See, this time I will not be taking your test or sessional, etc. But suppose there are questions. So what I could have done, perhaps I could have written 4 transactions, each transaction showing a violation. Against each, I would have drawn another column, and in which I would have mentioned all these 4 errors, and I would have asked you to match column A with column B. Alternatively, I would have received insurance premium bill for 6 months, starting from 1st October to 31st March. And the accountant recorded the entire bill in the current year's accounting statement, assuming that 31st December is the date of closing. Has he violated a convention? If yes, which one? So like this, the questions could have been asked either in written or orally or in multiple choice format, or whichever way. One thing is 100% sure, I can say this 100 several times, nothing which I have not discussed in the class would be asked. Never. This time it's not applicable, because something which has not been covered, why should it be asked? And not once, several times. You can consider this class and the examination as a paper out. Every day I ask you 10, 20, 15 questions. One of them, two of them, three of them will be repeated. That's it. So for that, you have to be attentive. So error of principle. Now compensating error. Compensating error means you make two errors. You commit two errors in such a way that one error compensates the other, or you commit four errors in such a way that a set of two each compensates the other set of two each. For example, you wrote in the debit 1000 rupees and in credit by mistake you wrote 100 rupees. I'll repeat. While recording a transaction, debit was recorded as 1000 and credit was recorded as 100. If I just stop here, will your trial balance match or not?
Not, sir.
No.
No,
What will
it
be
will not
the
match.
what? Yes, you are right. And what will be the magnitude of difference?
So 900.
You are right.
900 rupees.
Absolutely right. Good. Suppose on one day you made this mistake, you forgot. After all, human being, you made this error. But next day, after 1 month, 2 months, the same day, next week, any number of days, by mistake, in another transaction, in debit you recorded 100 and in credit you recorded 1000. In debit, by mistake, you recorded 100 and credit 1000. What will happen? Under
It will
recording of
compensate.
100 before
compensate
has
with each
compensated
other.
the over recording of 100 rupees or 900 rupees here. So what is happening? One mistake, one error is compensating the other error. All the errors are clear to you?
Sir,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
it principal error as well?
Say it again, bit louder.
Isn't it principal error as well?
Why is it principal error? Which principle are you violating? Suppose you should have recorded 1000 rupees on both sides. By mistake we recorded 100 in debit and one more zero we have put in credit side. Which principle have we violated? Okay, if not now, think over it. Whenever it comes to your mind, send me a text. If this is this error, I will be able to defend. Any other question up? Yes? Any other question up to this stage? No. Now next is how to detect these. How to detect these errors. Earlier, when the accounts were being written manually, it was an uphill task, very difficult. These days, even smaller companies are using software or they have got their own software developed, so the chances of committing errors are very less, minimum. But still, because it is given in your syllabus, it is a part of our discussion. So, how to detect and how to rectify. First of all, how to detect. It depends on the nature of transaction, but these days errors are detected, very early. Soon errors are detected. Now, it will be better if you take an example, and with that example, I'll explain to you how is this error, or how will this error, or how can this error be detected. Tell me a transaction, I'll explain to you. Any error, tell me, and I'll be able to explain to you. Okay. Let us say you deposited some money in the bank and you forgot to record. How do we detect this error?
Sir, bank will, sir, notify us.
Okay, bank will notify. Correct. Any other way? When you deposit, yes. Any other way?
When we check cash in hand
Yes, when we
and
check
we
cash in
found,
hand at the end of day at 5 o'clock when the office closes, the actual physical cash is counted. So naturally, if we have deposited 1 lakh rupees and we forgot to record, our cash will differ by 1000 rupees. Suppose there is an error in counting cash by rupees 1 lakh. भाई गलती नोट गिनने में भी तो हो सकती है ना?
Yes, sir.
And we also ignored the notification from bank. How will the error be detected?
Sir, we will go through the bank passbook later.
later. Okay, any other answer? The answer lies in violation of one of the conventions, if you can recall. When I say we forgot to record 1 lakh deposit in the bank, we also ignored the information received from bank in the form of SMS, and we also committed an error in counting the notes, and that too exactly by rupees 1 lakh. Does it go against any of the accounting convention or not? It is against the rationality. Can you assume such comedy of errors in a series? So
No, sir.
it is least expected. भाई प्रैक्टिकली तो पॉसिबल है कि आप एग्जैक्टली 1 लाख जमा किया, एग्जैक्टली नोट गिनने में भी 1 लाख की गलती हुई, 50,000 की या 75,000 की नहीं हुई. So think of the kind of transactions. You will notice that the transactions, depending on the transactions, the detection will be possible. Suppose you sold goods to A and recorded in the account of B. You sold goods on credit to A and recorded in the account of B. When can you detect it?
Sir, when we will sir ask B, like
Yes,
on
when
the
we
DMO,
ask,
the B
when we ask,
will tell
A,
that.
when we ask A to pay us money, A will say you have not. No, sorry. When we ask B, you are right, because we have recorded in the name of B. When we ask B to pay us money, B will say I never bought goods from you. Then the documents will be exchanged, or you will realize yes. Or can you detect it before also?
When A will pay us.
Yes, very true. When A pays you before you remind B. When A pays you before you remind B, so you will verify कि why is A paying, or can you ignore that? A has paid. Let me ask you one more. A has paid you. You thought, oh, he never owed us, but still he is paying. Let us keep quiet.
No,
Is it unethical or violation of accounting convention? Think over it. I may be able to answer you later. Come, how to rectify. Depending on the nature of error, rectification is possible and easy, very easy. If you omit a transaction, how do you rectify?
by writing it, sir.
By recorded, simple. If you repeat,
Pass another entry.
sorry,
Pass another entry.
pass another reverse entry.
Reverse entry. Yes.
If you are writing manually, don't overwrite it, don't scribble it like we do. Suppose we have recorded cash debit to bank twice. So what we will do? Bank debit to cash. Just an opposite entry we will record. So depending on the nature of error, rectification takes place. All I can say about it, no scribbling, no overwriting of set this category, this type is allowed. Only an it would have been digitally twice.
Without sir cutting it or over it is manually.
Yeah, okay. It is not allowed as per rules. I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you the reason.
Okay.
You recorded it, so now if you erase it, if you delete it, its effect at so many places will not be deleted. You would have recorded in journal, it would have gone to ledger, from ledger it would have come to trial balance, from trial balance it would have come to balance sheet. At how many places will you record? You may forget at one place and the entire accounting will be, it will become a mammoth task. Therefore, if you make another entry, so naturally as a process, you will record it at all possible places and things will be set, things will be corrected.
Okay, sir.
All right, then we go on to the next step. Once a trial balance is ready, what do? We once again classify all the items in trial balance as either A or C or L or one of these. Is there any possibility other than these five? A, C, L, E, R? No, not at all. Not at all. So if you look at the trial balance, we need to classify. What is this? A, C, L, E, R.
Sir,
I say
what is C?
A. What is this?
A.
A. What is this?
E.
E. What
Expense.
is this?
C.
C.
E. What is this?
A.
Asset.
A.
A.
What is this?
So that's E.
A.
Liability. L.
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 A. ओके और पांचों बता दीजिए, एक तो उसमें से करेक्ट निकलेगा ही.
So it is L.
See, what is the
Because it is
basis?
written on credit side.
It is
That's
because
why
it is written
liability.
in credit side, therefore it is a liability. It is a liability. What is this?
A.
R.
इसका जवाब तो इंस्टेंट होना चाहिए था.
A.
इट इज ए. देखिए आर क्यों नहीं है? आर क्या होगा? रेवेन्यू. XYZ को आपने सेल किया होगा ऑन क्रेडिट, इट इज योर डेटर. Then when you sold on credit, then you would have considered it as R. So what is this sales?
R. Revenue.
R. What is this?
Expense.
It's expense.
E. E.
So again,
What is this?
Revenue.
Revenue.
Revenue. Now before I move on to the next slide, all of you just immediately take out your paper and pen. Tell me what is the total of A? 10 plus 26 plus 60 plus 20. What is the total of A?
116.
Right.
116.
Right, 116. 1,16,000. What is the total of E?
45.
45.
Sure, 45. Okay, write down E, 45. What is the total of R? 61. Okay, take the difference between R and E, because revenue minus expenses will be profit or loss. So what is the answer? R minus E?
6,000.
6. What do you do with 6? It is profit or loss?
Profit.
Profit, because R is more than E. Profit increases capital and losses decrease capital. So what will you do? You add it to your capital. How much is capital?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. If capital is 1 lakh and your P is 6,000, how much capital becomes?
1 lakh
1 lakh
6,000.
6,000.
Okay, your assets are 116. Your capital is 106. Your liability should be
10.
10, and liability is 10 actually. What is the total of liability? 10. So if you write it in the form of equation, your answer should be A is equal to C plus L. A is 116, C is 106, and L is 10. So your equation is balanced. Okay. Ask me if there is any question here. So from the
Sir.
trial, yes.
So trading account are prepared from direct expenses and direct revenue.
Hold on. Because a lot of people may not know trading account, those who are joining for the first time. So kindly hold on. Are there any question at this stage? If there are no questions at this stage, I'll take you to the next slide and explain the question that somebody just now was asked. This I have shown in this slide which you already had with you. Assets so much, capital so much, liability so much, revenue so much, expenses so much. R minus E is equal to P is profit. 6 profit, which the profit capital में add कर दिया 106 and liabilities were 10. Equation is balanced. Now come to this slide. If in the trial balance you are able to identify which element is what, A, C, B, D, then 90% or 100% problem is solved. Next exercise you can attempt without any mistake, provided this classification is correct. If you have wrongly classified this as an asset, wrongly classified this as a revenue, wrongly classified this as a revenue, wrongly classified this as a liability, you will not be in a position to attempt the next exercise. So this is important to know which one is what. Then we go on to attempting the next exercise, that is preparation of profit loss account and balance sheet. That is nothing except the exercise that you have already done. We arrange expenses and revenue, and expenses and revenue are written in a statement called as profit and loss account. I'll come to that trading and profit a bit later. So you just for the time being consider that all expenses and all revenue are recorded in a statement which we call as profit and loss account, or income statement, or income expense statement. So after recording expenses and revenue, what are you left with from the trial balance? From the trial balance, you have taken out expenses and revenues and you have recorded them in profit and loss account. How to record? I'll explain to you later. What will you be left with? You will be left with asset, capital and liabilities, because there were only 5 things: asset, capital, liability, expenses and revenue. So expense and revenue you have recorded in profit loss account. You are left with asset, capital and liabilities that you will record in balance sheet. All 5 will be recorded. In balance sheet, you will have 2 sides. In profit loss account also you will have 2 sides. So expenses, when you record in profit loss account, they are recorded in predefined heads. हर एक के लिए there is a format suggested by the law, by the statutory bodies. So we record everything in the suggested format. Similarly, income is also recorded in the predefined head. The formats are available. Expenses are classified, revenues are classified. When we record expenses and revenue, we may have 3 heads: A, trading account; B, or 2, profit and loss account; and 3, we may have profit and loss account. Major classification I have written here: major classification of expenses and revenue also. Major classification of expenses and revenue. And revenues we record in these 3. What do we record in these 3? Trading account, all direct expenses. Expenses can be of 2 categories: direct and indirect. All direct you will record in trading account, and all indirect you will record in profit and loss account. Now what could be the direct and indirect expenses? A direct expense is one which increases or decreases with the volume of your activities. More sales, more expenses, more purchases, more sales, more electricity bill, more wages you will pay. More sales, will you pay more salaries also?
No, sir.
Usually not. So salary is an example of indirect expense. Wages are example of direct expenses. Rent of the building, direct or indirect?
Indirect.
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 Direct.
Indirect.
Indirect. Of all the expenses, if there are 100 expenses, you can always, by applying logic, can decide which is direct, which is indirect. All direct record here, all indirect record here. If profit loss account has 2 sides, debits and credit, on which side will you record expenses?
Debit side.
Because expenses are debited. Expenses reduce capital, reduction in capital is debited. And all income you will record in the credit side. Once you take the difference between income and expense, you get to know here the difference is known as gross profit, and here The difference is known as net profit. Once you calculated net profit, you come to third kind of account known as profit and loss, appropriation account. Appropriation account tells you how are you distributing profit, distribution of the profit that you have made. In case company has made a profit, in sole trader form, the profit belongs to entirely sole trader. So nothing called as distribution. In case of a company, it needs to appropriate the amount, it needs to distribute this amount. And for that also, there is a definite order. Order means sequence suggested by the law enforcement agencies. If the company has made a profit of rupees 1,000, what will it do first? What will it do first?
Equity to shareholder.
Okay. Any other answer?
Pay tax.
So taxes.
First of all, it will. Then it will pay preference shareholders. There are different types of shareholders. Third, it will pay to equity shareholders. Fourth, it may retain some money. It may retain some money and transfer it to various reserves. Normally, company does it and must do it for future growth. 1,000 rupees profit, टैक्स दे दिया. रफली कितना टैक्स देती कंपनी? Any rough guesses?
So corporate tax is around 18%.
और कोई बताइए?
20%.
Oh, no, it is still more. It differs.
40%.
Sorry,
40%.
it is around 30 to 35% average. I am saying, but it differs. Lot depends on various things. It depends on the kind of product you are manufacturing or you are dealing. Least percentage of tax will be applicable on, let us say, hospitals, on drugs, and within drugs also life-saving drugs. Maximum rate of tax will be applicable on which kind of products?
Alcohol and
Yes,
cigarette.
yes, alcohol
Luxury
and
products.
alcohol, tobacco, luxury, entertainment, like cinema hall or picture, etc., etc. Maximum tax on them. Then it depends on the place where you are working. In a metro city, in a commercially notified area, huge taxes, but in villages, backward areas, less number of taxes. In some cases, there are tax holidays. You don't pay any tax for 5 years. So it is your tax holiday. Government wants to encourage people to go for industries so that employment is created. The production, people get things at cheaper quality. And maybe if they open up in villages, in remote areas, so it saves a lot of economic, this thing. So less taxes or maybe no taxes, tax holidays. So this is how the profit loss is distributed. Then you have done with the expenses and revenue. Next is the, what do you do with the assets and liabilities? Assets and liabilities are recorded in balance sheet. On one side you record asset, on the other side you record capital and liabilities. Again, for assets, there are classification and order in which you record. For liabilities also, there is a classification and a specific order based on which these things are recorded in the sheet. I think I should have explained in the next slide, correct? These are all amount of things of your trading account, profit loss account, profit loss appropriation account perhaps, and then balance sheet. You record building, furniture, machinery. Likewise, you go on fixed assets, then you record loans and advances, then you record current assets, then you record intangible. So the various assets are recorded in an order. Similarly, you record capital. This is applicable only in case of a sole trader. Like, I have written here, I have written here this, what you call, capital minus drawings plus net profit it is applicable in case of in a company form. It is not written like this. There's a different format. The format is available on the website. The format is available in the statement which I uploaded, which are still available on the website. A statement of several companies are uploaded, some hospitals, some bank, and some general companies. So you record equity, you record other forms of liabilities, other reserve and surplus, current liability. Like this, there is a format in which all these things are to be recorded.
Sir, is it 1 minus 2 plus 3 or 1 plus 2 minus 3?
1
In the amount column.
minus 2 plus 3, minus 2 and plus 3 from
In
capital.
the amount column, sir. So under the heading of amount.
Okay. 1 minus 2 plus 3, you're right. 1 minus 2 plus 3, you're right. From capital, you subtract drawing and add profit. In case there's a loss, then that too also is to be subtracted. The resultant figure will be your fresh capital, like we did in previous case. In case of a company, it is not written like this. It is written in a different manner. In what way it is written? Because it cannot be, perhaps shown in the slides. Adjustment will be extremely difficult. So for that, you can, see the what you call the formats which I have shared with you available in the website. We should know the meaning of what is fixed asset, what is current assets, what are intangible assets, what are fictitious assets. All these assets, meaning of it, we should know. So this is how about the balance sheet, which one should, or better to have a look at the real balance sheet of companies available. Any question here? Up to this stage, is there any question?
In the chat box, I guess there are questions.
No, I'm saying, I'm sorry, say it again.
There are questions in the chat box.
Okay, let me check. So see what happens. A lot of distractions are there. Okay. I read somewhere that treating revenue expenditure, capital expenditure is an error of principle. Yes, can you explain what is the difference? You're right. Let me explain the question that you have written in the chat box. Treating revenue expenditure as first, we should know what is a revenue expenditure and what is a capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is one. In both the cases, money goes out of the company. But capital expenditure is one, the benefit of which lasts more than one accounting period. Example, buying a flat, buying a land, buying machinery, buying building, buying a car. If you buy a car, how long will it last? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, at least more than one accounting period. Same holds good with every example that I gave you. So this is an example of capital expenditure. Revenue expenditure is one, the effect of which will last immediately. Say payment of salary, payment of electricity bill, payment of rent. So this is revenue expenditure. So if by error you consider your capital expenditure as revenue expenditure or vice versa, you are violating the principle. Is the answer clear? Is the answer clear or not?
Yes, sir, clear.
You bought a vehicle and considered it as a revenue expenditure. So what would you do when you consider it as a revenue expenditure? You show it in the profit and loss account. Where do you show salaries? Where do you show purchases? Where do you record rent? These are all recorded in profit and loss account. So if you record purchase of car also in the profit loss account, so you are treating it as a revenue expenditure, although it is a capital expenditure. So you are violating the accounting convention. Can you name which one are you violating?
Rationality.
Sorry? Yes.
Cost.
You have
Cost
written correctly. No. Matching. Why matching? You are not matching revenue with expenditure. For how long the benefit of this car will be available? Say 5 years. So when the revenue will be available for 5 years, why should cost be recorded in 1 year only? So you are violating matching convention. So this problem is clear. This answer. Next, why do we record assets on credit side while increase in assets is in debit side? Conventionally, balance sheet is written like this only. Alternatively, the answer lies in this slide. I'll come back to this one again. Answer lies in this slide. Other forms of balance sheet. Balance sheet can be written in this format also. That is, you write in this way, cash in hand and etc. as one asset, another kind of asset, minus liabilities, and like this also balance sheet can be written. So there are ways in which balance sheet is prepared. People are preparing balance sheet in this format also, but conventionally assets and liabilities are shown in that way only. Let me now once again go back to the question which you were asking in the chat box. Okay, this is this one. Any other question?
Sir, is it because of the online classes that we have not done practical questions?
Not see mainly because of this. Practical question means if I solve a particular example, then I give you some more questions to assume data on your own. That becomes your numerical question. But because of the numerically, if you ask me, I can straight away go to the blackboard or whiteboard and explain, which in such a scene becomes difficult, at least at my level, and needing or reading or maybe using that particular kind of a pen and all, but still there is no substitute of the board which is available in the classroom and answering your questions instantly by going onto the board and solving the kind of question that you ask. You're right. But there is a way. I don't know. We are helpless. We can explain. We are explaining. Alternatively, a problem can be given, its solution can be given and can be discussed. This we have discussed in the regular classes. In each these things we have discussed. For example, ratio analysis. So this is a figure. This is how it is calculated. This is how it is interpreted. Of course, in class, several more things could have been done. Okay. Yes, some more questions. Are there any more questions on the slides that I have covered so far?
No,
So there
sir.
is an additional question sir, regarding the internal assessment.
Okay, what is it?
Sir, in this subject, sir, what will be the format of internal assessment?
I think I am no one to comment on this because I will not be conducting. But in any case, I will speak to the teachers and explain them. In fact, to one of them, I have already explained the way I have taught. I have also given them the access to the Google Classroom, wherein most of the assignments were uploaded, discussed, and debated. And I have also told them, I will also share with them the presentation. This is the subject matter that I have taught. And then I'll discuss with them and let you know how they wish to conduct the 70 marks test.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anything else? Any other question? What is the difference between reserves and surplus? Okay. reserve, number one, these both reserves and surplus are your savings. These are your savings, which money that company has saved out of its current year's profit. So this is one thing. Now, what is the difference between the two? Reserve is what we call a reserve is meant for a specific purpose. You have predefined head, and you can use ordinarily only for that head. That is your reserve. And surplus you can use for anything which company needs. For example, if company is thinking that next year, next year, situation may not be as good as we have today. So let us save some money so that in the next year we can distribute this as a dividend. Because we feel the next year the situation may not be good and we may not be able to get dividend, our image will be adversely affected. So it is better to save some money and use it next year as dividend. So you have created a reserve known as dividend equalization reserve. Similarly, you can create reserve for several purposes. So if you are creating reserves for a specific purpose, it can be used for a specific purpose only. Otherwise, with the help or with the approval of board, you can change. But surplus has no strings attached to this. Use it any purpose for any purpose a company may like to. Is this clear to you? Any further questions?
Sir, written inward and outward and how it is recorded.
Okay. Return inward is the see what is inward? Something that comes to you. What will come back to you? The goods that you have sold. If the party is not satisfied with the entire part of it, it will send it back to you. So return inward is your sales return. Return outward is just the opposite, purchase return. So when you say return inward, so when you write sales, suppose you sold for 1 lakh, so you write sales 1 lakh, and somebody returned for 10,000, so you write minus 10,000, and finally you show it 90,000 net sales.